Mr. Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Coolcraft Season 7. It's Season 7 now, that's definitely right. In the last episode, I built a slime farm, as well as doing a couple other smaller, less notable things, like building a cocoa bean farm over there. Anyhow, in this episode, we got a bunch of stuff on the to-do list today. The first thing I really want to do is I want to build a mob farm because, yeah, this is all the gunpowder I have, and I need rockets. However, in order to build a mob farm, I need to gather the resources for it. That's why I'm set up a smelter here to get some smooth stone going, and I'm also going to now go build falling block duper, because there's no way I'm going to actually go get all that concrete. Alright, I've started with the end side of things, because I figured this would be a little bit easier, and plus I was already in the end, so why not? Anyhow, so for this we have all four directions being set up here. Obviously the sand, or whatever really falling blocks, will come in here, get stopped by the wall, and fall onto this iron trapdoor here, which will of course make it pop into an item instead of getting placed down. From there, all the items get funneled into the center and then over into the storage system, which isn't sorted currently, but in the future I have plans to put shulker loaders for every item that we could run through this and stock them all, so we never have to actually go out and specifically get duping for them. But yeah, in order to do that, obviously we need the overworld side of things, and I've got a bit more redstone to go along with it this time, so that it'll always be turned on and off exactly correctly. Anyhow, let's get to that now. Alright, so it's been a hot second since the last clip, and in that time I have cleared out this entire room around the end portal here, where we're actually going to be building the machines that are doing the duping for us. Now obviously a very important thing we gotta do is we gotta remove the end portal frames themselves, so I think we go like... Is that correct? I'm also kind of worried the ceiling might be a bit low for the mushrooms at the moment. I only moved the ceiling as far up as it needed to be. No, I think that, you know, yeah. This could at least be a test to see. Yeah, okay, I can grow mushrooms. I was not in the right position though. Definitely needs to be one block closer. Okay, remove the end portal frames and then we can build the duping device in here. Alright then, I have built the actual machines. Now this is the same design, or at least is based off the same design that I've been building for basically ever now, every season of Coolcraft so far. But you might notice that there is a lot of extra circuitry lying around here, and I've also built all four of them at once. Now, the point of all this extra circuitry here is actually to make these things easier to handle, because you see, a kind of problem with these things beforehand is that if you wanted to turn them off and actually have them be able to be turned back on without modifying them in some way, the way that you would have to do that, you'd have to time the flick of the lever very precisely to make it not break. But now I have solved that issue entirely by building this massive circuit here. Well, it's relatively massive, that perfectly times its turn off with its cycle. Now, I actually don't have any falling blocks on here at the moment, as I haven't made blocks to dupe yet, but trust me when I say it works well. Alright then, this is a success. I just kind of turned off all the other colors at one point. I was just like, we only need white for this project. Now that we have white for this project, I need to actually convert it into normal concrete. I have an idea for how I can do that a little quicker. My idea, as it turns out, wasn't actually that quick to get the stuff converted. So my original plan was just have leaves that are waterlogged here that I place concrete on top of that will convert it into, or concrete powder that gets converted into concrete, and then TNT comes from above and blows up the concrete. But yeah, placing concrete powder on top of something that is waterlogged doesn't convert it to concrete. So I actually had to do water around the sides, and then it didn't seem like it was actually that much quicker, but that's how I did it. Anyhow. Alright then, I have finished collecting all the materials that I believe are necessary to build this farm. Mind you, not the storage system for this farm, just the farm itself. And I've trekked obviously out here to the middle of a desert, which is of course the best place to build a mob farm. So yeah, let's get into a time lapse of this farm being constructed. Alright, haven't done this in a while, but let's do a little bit of a time-lapse chat here. So, if you've watched the previous episode, something that you may be able to tell is that My location has changed again. Yes, the end of the semester has finally come and I'm finally home once again. Now, hopefully this means that we'll be able to do a little bit more consistent on the Coolcraft episode front of things. I don't know if that actually will be the case, as obviously Christmas is in a couple of days now, so that's probably going to eat up a bunch of time, so there's probably not going to be an episode next week, maybe the week after that. Not entirely sure. Additionally, though, once the next semester of school does actually start, I will hopefully be able to be a little bit more consistent in actually doing videos. Not quite at the level of last season was honestly quite ridiculous, and I did probably overstrain myself often trying to get a video out every week. Although that was great, didn't always end up working out so much. But my class I'm taking next semester should be a lot less stressful and hopefully take a lot less time out of my day. So I should theoretically be able to do more on Coolcraft, but also hoping to do more on my game and other stuff. We'll see what happens. Anyhow, great time lapse. Let's get back into the video. Now, if you've never seen this farm design before, this is the exact same farm design that I have built ever since Season 2, basically, when I designed it. So let's actually go over how it works quick. Now, the concept behind this farm is actually relatively simple. There are 3 kind of, like, cells here on the single spawning platform, which contain the slime block flying machines to sweep mobs out. They will run every so often according to these clocks up here. These could be offset, but I never have done that for reasons. The mobs get pushed off, and then they fall to their death on these hopper pads. Their stuff gets collected. I need to add an overflow system here, but you get the idea. An important thing about this farm, though, is that it can actually farm Endermen because it doesn't use water and has a drop far enough to kill them. Now, if you're wondering why we're in a desert in the middle of nowhere, it's because in deserts, zombie-type mobs spawn significantly less often. Now, obviously, the zombie that spawns in the desert is the husk, and this means that there is a significantly reduced amount of rotten flesh that we get in the output, while also, increasing all the other results. After the time-lapse, I also went ahead and put a storage system in, as you may have seen. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing here is I'm returning to the world spawn, which has been a while since I've actually been here, because, well, there is something that is decidedly necessary to do here, which is, of course, creating a nether portal. Despite the fact that if I broke a bed and died, I would respawn here, I have not actually been back here, thankfully, but there is also not a good way for me to get out of here and get back to base. So that's where the nether portal is going to come in. Now, Jaredy Cool did build this bridge over here when he first joined, but I don't think anyone else has really ever been back here. And I think in the future I will build, like, proper bridges going out to most sides of this. But for now, I think I'm just going to slap down another portal, and then we can call that good. Apparently I hadn't visited a Basalt Delta until now. And also this is a kind of a strange position for the portal itself to spawn. Why here? Why not, like, here or anywhere better? Anyhow, now I gotta figure out how do we get from here back to anywhere, I guess. Okay, it turns out actual civilization wasn't that far away in the nether. It was simply from here to basically down there. Of course, I had to build a bridge, which, yeah, unfortunately it does have some magma cubes occasionally, but it's the nether. What are you gonna do? I'm not bothering to build an ice tunnel right now. Hopefully you have an elytra so you don't have to deal with that. You can just go wee and fly through the various nether structures to get back to whatever portal you're going to. So yeah, spawn is now connected to the nether. Okay, it's actually been a couple of nights now that I've AFK'd at the mob from here. Just wanted to bring you back for the results. So bones are full, gunpowder is full, string is not quite full but is pretty full, arrows are full, rotten flesh, as I stated, is not very full at all. It's only like 1 and a bit double chest. The reason why we're building it in a desert, we to get less of this and more of all the good stuff. And then ender pearls haven't filled up an entire chest yet, but they have been slowly filling up. So we have a supply of ender pearls. I mean, I'm basing in the end, so ender pearls are never really an issue, but, nice to have them here as well. And that's some pretty good redstone-ish. I mean, I guess the buffing of the witches really did help. Anyhow, okay, so despite the fact that I did get a decent amount of redstone out of the mob farm so far, it still took, or the projects from today's episode still took a large chunk of my redstone supply, so I'm going mining again for an hour to get more redstone. Although I'm not going to be time-lapsing this one, mostly because I just cannot be bothered to do that at all. So just, trust me, I'm going mining for an hour. I will see you with the results afterwards. Okay, so I forgot to record what I had before I put it into my chest, but this is what I have in total right now. And I think it was like 14 stacks of redstone and like a stack in 14 diamonds or something like that. Anyhow, yeah, this is what I have now. And that's that. The next thing I'm going to do in this episode is I'm actually going to do something that I thought would be a little interesting. I'm going to try to be able to make a system to enter this gateway from the bottom, which is going to involve removing this bedrock and the bedrock above it. But, hopefully without removing any other bedrock. So, yeah, I guess for this I'm going to need some blast protection armor because I kind of want to survive the blast. So... well, first I gotta find armor that doesn't already have protection on it. I guess that's step one. Okay, I couldn't find any armor that didn't have protection on it already, so we just got some blast protection books, and I'm gonna have to craft armor. Oh no, crafting diamond stuff, I don't do that. Now that I've got all the armor ready, it's time to actually set up the working area to actually get blasting here. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. I've made this platform here which can't be blown up, aka waterlogged leaves. And we're gonna build a pretty standard, at least for this setup, of putting a piston here. And explosive here. Oh, gotta remember to put on the explosive armor. We'll definitely die in one explosion if we don't do that. And then all we gotta do is simply turn this on. Am I doing this right? Hang on. Okay, no, it has to be like this. The piston, wait. Okay, third time's the charm. The piston facing like this so that it can extend and we can click to place a piston within this block. Obviously, we're gonna be doing that very rapidly while the TNT is lit so that once the TNT blows up, it will blow up this piston, allowing us to place another piston facing upwards in the exact same spot in the exact same tick, therefore deleting this redstone block here. Alright then, let's give that a try. Blast protection armor's on, so we shouldn't take much damage from this. Bam! Just like that. One bedrock is gone. And now this next one is a bit more tricky, as we have to be able to power both the piston and the TNT block at the same time with a single lever that has to get blown up. Let's see. How would I do this? I know I've tested this out before to make sure it worked. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We got the piston here, TNT directly next to it, and then we got the lever in the back here. I know this is a little bit unconventional, but it should still work while allowing me to place the piston upwards. So here we go. This actually might not place correctly. Oh, never mind. First try, I didn't need all this TNT I made, but yeah, there is the underside of the end gateway. We can just jump right into. Look at that. Okay then, here's the currently refined setup for leaving my base area here via the end gateway. So I do want to actually make this so you like stand on top of a slime block and it launches you. Eventually, maybe it'd be fun to do wind charges or something like that. But obviously, I haven't been to a trial chamber to farm those yet. So for now, slime blocks, I guess, is the best that we got. But as it currently sits, the way you get into it is you just continue jumping up as you walk through there. Your head barely touches the gateway and you get teleported here. However, while I do want to put pistons in, I need more cobblestone to make the pistons because, as it turns out, I don't have much cobblestone. You see, I might go mining these days, but the only thing I get from mining is a ton of deep slate, and you can't use cobbled deep slate to craft pistons because who knows why. So anyhow, I'm gonna have to go explicitly mining for just cobblestone. And I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so my pickaxe is nearly broken now, although to be fair, it was pretty broken before, but anyhow, hopefully this should be enough cobblestone to cobble together what I was thinking of. I mean, I don't think it should take that much cobblestone, but also I'm definitely going to need cobblestone for whatever I'm doing next. Definitely going to need to get a cobblestone farm going, or cobblestone generator farm going pretty soon in the next couple of episodes here, although I gotta figure out like where I put it, what I'm actually building, you know, all that sort of stuff. Is, you know, a bit of base building is actually gonna happen. It's not just gonna be on the end island. I'm gonna do stuff over the void as well because I don't know, that sounds a little bit more interesting in terms of like other farms and stuff I gotta do. I actually should set up a purper farm considering I am in the end. That sounds like a good idea. We must provide sacrifice. What? To what? To what? What? Sacrifice? What? What? What's going on here? What is going on?